Today, 25th April, as per the Nepali calendar, we had various events yesterday for the memory of this earthquake and the people who lost their life during the time of the last earthquake. We did yesterday with various programs, and also today is the 25th April, and as per the English calendar, this is the day we had the earthquake last year. So on this occasion, with the principle of Build Back Better and Resilient Nepal, the workshop which has been organized today by JICA, I would like to congratulate and say thank you for the organization of this program, which will give us, which will make us to memorize the past last year, the society and the communities to our country, the resilient society and the country in the future, society and the community in the future, and we have the safe and better housing and infrastructures in our country in the future. And your commitment to support us in the future in this very difficult situation in our country. We have learned that the government of Japan and the people are in Japan, and we are hearing the news in different times. There is a continuous earthquake going on, but people are safe, and the infrastructure and building perspective of the human casualty. So with this, from today, it's not only that we are only implementing or the educating, especially housing and construction, but at the same time, other infrastructure are also on the courses. And from today, around 4 different heritage sites are going to, at this time, are going to be Stone Lane program are also going on, and then also schools, hospitals, and other infrastructures are also under the process of reconstruction. So now we can say that Nepal is in the process of reconstruction. It has already started the reconstruction, and we would like to work together with the international community outside of our country together. And at the same time, we would like to work together with the communities, with the people down, for which we are going to establish the reconstruction committee organizations and in each and every settlements down in the village level, and the tolls and settlements and the neighborhoods in the urban areas as well.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to be here and say a few words in Build Back Better and Resilient workshop, co-hosted by NRA and JICA. First of all, I'd like to express my heartfelt condolences and sympathy to the victims and bereaved families of the large earthquakes occurred both in Nepal just 1 year ago and in Kumamoto and Oita Prefecture of Japan in this April. Last year, 2015 was a big turbulent year to Nepal. The devastated earthquake and its aftershocks caused enormous damage to this country. In September, a good democratic constitution was promulgated, which had been waited for almost 8 years by all Nepal people. However, some ethnic political parties started fierce protest movement and caused big turmoil in Tarai area. As a result, import from India was restricted for more than 4 months. Nepal people suffered from the serious shortage of gasoline and LP gas. Under those unexpected circumstances, the reconstruction process was unavoidably delayed. However, I am very optimistic about the development of the reconstruction of Nepal this year, because the National Reconstruction Authority, which was established last December, is ready to implement reconstruction work with all its strengths now. I believe reconstruction and the restoration of damaged schools, private houses, and public facilities will greatly be accelerated under the strong leadership of CEO Mr. Gyawara. As a true friend of Nepal, the Japanese government and JICA will continue to support NRA and other government ministries' effort as much as possible.
Mr. Sushil Gyawari, CEO of the National Reconstruction Authority, Government of Nepal. His Excellency Mr. Masashi Ogawa, Ambassador of Japan to Nepal. Ambassadors, dear colleagues, representatives of international organizations, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, namaste. We have assembled here today to commemorate the great tragedy that hit Nepal about a year ago, and to share among us what we have done so far and what we have accomplished so far. I know that these activities are not sufficient, and as we go forward, we are prepared to do whatever we can to support the efforts of the Nepalese government and Nepalese people, coordinated by the National Reconstruction Authority. Ladies and gentlemen, before concluding, I'd like to introduce some resource persons who are present here today. In today's workshop, there will be three presentations from the Japanese side. The first one will be a representative of the JICA project team, Mr. Kobayashi, and the second and third ones are by our advisors back in Tokyo. Actually, JICA organized a technical support committee which comprises a number of outstanding experts and specialists on disaster-related issues. And Dr. Nishikawa and Professor Murata are members of that committee. And we look forward to the presentations so that we can provide an ample food for thought to make the Build Back Better principle into practice. Finally, I'd like to thank the Nepalese government and people for having chosen JICA and Japan as a partner. We are determined to work together with you and with all the members of the international development community to support the Nepalese government and people for their work for reconstruction. Dhanyavad.
Express my condolences to the people killed in earthquake, Golka earthquake, and my sincere sympathy for the numerous people affected by this earthquake. Nepal and Japan is the same situation. Recently, Japan also hit by a big earthquake in Kumamoto area in Kyushu Island. Many people is killed, and still many people live in evacuation site. On the occasion of 1 year's memory from earthquake, we reminded of earthquake victims of pain. We, Japanese and JICA project is working together with Nepali people to accelerate rehabilitation and reconstruction activities, with risk evaluation and countermeasure for the plan. And next one is a project for rehabilitation and recovery from Nepali earthquake. This is, we call it RRNE. And final one is a transitional project for implementation support for emergency reconstruction project. So final project is mainly looking at end-long acceleration for the smooth implementation of the end-long project. So JICA's approach to the BBB is like this. First, we have to understand the hazard. So we have to understand what hazard will be in the next week and expected. So we understand the earthquake and landslide to understand this in the first. property to the citizen of the public facility and achieve the smooth recovery and reconstruction. So these
resources that will be used by our people who are here for the resilient campaign. Exactly. Let's work hard. Thank you very much for taking the time to support. Thank you. Once again.
This vision into reality. Basically, these policy guidelines have the three objectives: self-infrastructures, the local media, the general people's asking to me as a spokesperson in the NRA when the government will build the houses. The people asking themselves with me, and we are telling them government is not building the house, and the people yourself need to build the house. It is a concrete confusion to the societies. We need to educate them, our policy guidance to them.
Attitudes, revival, forward-looking, innovation, and wish and will. On the other side, there will be a lot of criticism, nonsense, bipartisan activities, opposition, and unrealistic criticism. But we have to have solidarity, consensus, and mutual appreciation, and a strong will to enable Build Back Better. The Japanese history is full of tragedy and reconstruction stories. In 1869, the Meiji Sanrik tsunami killed 22,000 people. Later on, this led to the construction of the Great Water Gate of Fudai, which repelled the March 11th. And this village the population was decreasing, so they decided to be merged to the city of Nagaoka prior to the earthquake. And the village mayor was Mr. Nagashima. Now, and because of the destruction by the earthquake, he decided to evacuate all his fellow villagers outside of the village temporarily because of the very harsh living conditions. And he decided that he and his fellow villagers would definitely come back within 3 years. And he made it in 2 years and 3 months. 3 years and 2 months. The fortune of the Niigata Chuetsu earthquake reconstruction owes to these two capable leaders. Of course, the national government made every support to both of them, but they tried to stay behind the scenes.
I used to work at the Hyogo Prefecture government for 37 years, and the last position was the director of research department of disaster reduction and human innovation institution, known as the Kobe Earthquake Museum, established by the Hyogo Prefecture government. My presentation is based on our actual experience of the Kobe and Hyogo recovery after the 1995 January earthquake that hit central part of the Hyogo Prefecture of Kobe City and neighboring cities. The magnitude was 7.3 and the total number of people were killed were more than 6,000. And this is the epicenter, and I was living here only 1 kilometer from the earthquake, and I lost my family member. And I was the staff of public works construction in Ishinomi, about 40 kilometers from the epicenter. A very hard time, officially and privately. This is the distribution of the seriously damaged houses in Kobe. About 20 kilometers in a belt was seriously damaged, and continuously to the neighboring cities were damaged.
just I want to anniversary of Nepal-Japan diplomatic relations. Our cordiality has further enhanced with the generous support from the government and the people of Japan. It is said that a friend in need is a friend indeed. As an alumni of Yokohama National University, I am more delighted to have such generous, such kind and helpful people around our courtyard when we needed the support from outside. Just after the aftermath of devastating earthquake, we found our Japanese friends in our courtyard to support us, to encourage us, and to express their empathy toward us. Various projects like housing projects, quick impact projects, school reconstruction projects are some examples of such kind of support that was extended by Japanese government and the people toward us. Today, the first year of commemoration of the devastating earthquake, we are here to review what we did within that 1 year and what we are going to do in the days ahead. And at this critical juncture of time, we have to join our hands and share the responsibilities. As we are already just far behind the schedule, that's why my request Purnachandra sir to deliver some issue. I beg my sincere apologies. I forgot to invite our Joint Secretary Ram Tapalia from NRA to invite on the dais. Basically, just a couple of minutes ago, we found him just delivering his presentation. Sorry for that, I forgot his name. Anyway, let's start. And may I request Purnachandra sir too regarding the implementation of NRA related activities. Time is quite short. That's why I would request not to extend your speech or delivery more than 5 minutes.
Participants, media friends, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for inviting us as a panel discussion, as a member of panel discussion. This is very important workshop, and this is also an opportunity for us to express our experience, what we have done, and what we are going to implement regarding the infrastructures. After the devastating earthquake of April 25, 2015, followed by numerous big aftershocks, the government of Nepal focused on its report on rescue, relief and rehabilitation, and now
more than 2/3 damages due to the earthquake was in the sector of social. And among the social sector, more than 2/3 damages were in the housing sector. So it's a great task to the Department of Urban Development and Building Construction, Ministry of Urban Development, to implement these programs that we are going to adjust within 3 to 5 years period. But there are number of issues during the implementation period. I hope when we implement these programs, more issues, more problems we have to face. For that, we need to prepare ourselves right now. Otherwise, we will not be able to complete the task as said. The first issue is about the human resources. As my colleague, Purnachandra Bhattacharya said, there is some big issues in the human resources. The first one is the technical manpower and their capacity. We are trying to hire number of engineers, sub-engineers and assistant sub-engineers. Of course, there is overwhelming interest of these technicians to work with us. But the real problem is how to retain them in those remote areas. We don't know whether these technicians, engineers will retain in the rural areas, because we already published the notice to sign the contract with the engineers, and there is big concern where to stay, where to go. All of them, most of them, wants to stay in Kathmandu Valley. So this is a real problem that we have to face in the near future.
And in case of human resource, I think this human resource is very important for to achieve the goal of project. And first is that how to select the selection and selection of competent human resource. That is very important. And similarly, the capacity development is necessary. And third is the performance evaluation, how the human resource works and how our technical persons work, that we have to evaluate. That is important in my opinion. And in case of Ministry of Education, in case CLPIU, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Education has formed CLPIU and DLPIU. It means that temporary post has been created, but the deployment of human resources is partially done. In case of CLPIU, the technical person, in substance, only one engineer, that is senior division engineer, is working there. And however, we have performed several tasks. For example, the bidding of three schools of Kabre and 5 schools of Lalitpur district. We have completed. That is in the process of bid evaluation. And similarly, we are going to notice of Gorkha district, and we have completed the MOU signing with the SMC in Lalitpur district and Gorkha district also. And we are planning to complete the building of schools, that is 75 schools from JICA assistance and 200 schools from ADB within the first quarter of the next fiscal year, and we are working in that way. And in my opinion, the most important thing is human resource, and we are trying to get the human resource and technical person. We requested for Ministry of General Administration. The person of they also told that there is a lack of permanent engineers and overseers, sub-engineers. They told that, and so we are in the process of how to deploy engineer and sub-engineer in the CLPIU. But in case of DLPIU, Department of Education has already sent 84 sub-engineers in districts, especially in 14 districts, and 40 engineers are sent in the district and 1 engineer in each district. But this number is also insufficient, because in many districts more than 2,000 schools are collapsed. So we have to build such number of schools. But those technical persons are insufficient in my opinion.
To the affected sites. And if there is a nationwide sense of solidarity towards the affected site, that would bring resource mobilization, be it the voluntary or governmental base. The important thing is how can you gain the nationwide solidarity to the affected site. And I'm sure it would differ from country to country. But the important thing is not to think that the disaster is somebody else's business. It's your business, and how to have the sense of solidarity. So I will stop here. Thank you.
short and sweet response. Similarly, may I request to Murata Sansai to express his views on the same issue.
It's very closely related to Nishikawa-san's comment, but the mutual cooperation between local governments is very important. The human resource mobilization from non-damaged local government to damaged local government will be very effective. For the resource mobilization of local government staff or teachers or constructors. They know the protocols of the government procedure. So the resource mobilization from non-damaged local government in the concept of solidarity will be very effective. Thank you.
And here he looks after NRA and he was supposed to be here. But due to another program he flew America yesterday and I was asked to go here because his alternate also flew to China yesterday. So the third alternate was me and I happened to be here. So it's a pleasure for me. Thank you for inviting me to be here. So I will be very quick because about 4 minutes later we have to join the lunch according to time, but we are running faster, so we are already half an hour late. So without taking time, when Ministry of Finance, we talk in the Ministry of Finance, we say that when you speak you have to pay the money because even if you speak out it costs. So I should not take long time, I will be very short. So regarding the role of Ministry of Finance for the construction works, our role is for the fund manager. So we are trying to manage the fund for the shopping list that the line agencies or the implementing agencies, including NRA and others, are providing to the Ministry of Finance. So our duty is to manage the fund. As of yesterday, we have, I think we have managed a lot. But the problem of regarding fund is not of raising that, but spending that. You have full purse, but you are not spending, but you are asking more money. The father doesn't give you. So I request the implementing agency to spend the money that we have given because our disbursement is very low, especially the capital expenditure is very low. So there was about 400 billion US dollar pledging during ICNR last year, and out of that, that was only the commitment by the DPs. But there is one confusion in Nepal that whole money came to Nepal that the following ICNR day. But that is not the case. We have to go through the process. We have to enter into the agreements to channel the money for the specific purpose. And out of 400 billion US dollar, we have, as of yesterday, we have entered into the agreement for 184 billion rupees. That means we have sufficient fund. About 74 billion rupees, Nepalese rupees, was the annual allocation for this year.
Thank you, Dr. Bhusa. On behalf of the host institution, I would like to thanks to all the panelists for the ideas, opinions, concerns, the issues for the further movement to the NRA, especially to Mr. Purnachandraji. He has mentioned all the details, the ongoing situations before all of us. The hurdles he mentioned, coordination. Coordination is the always debatable issue, and we are here for the better coordinations to make the common understanding. Likewise, we need to move ahead after giving the money, giving the first tranches to the private housing. Especially the issues are raging these days more in Kathmandu, in Nepal. Only the building houses are the reconstruction authority. Other parts are less prioritized because of the public pressure. So we can go together in the district level to make all the peoples sit together, make the common understanding, basically for the implementing people, implementing officials. And the capacity is always the issue, but it is we can improve in the days to come. Politicization is the really a big risk, and the NRA is committed to make these things, all the things happen through the bureaucratic channels because of the all settings out will deliver. We are expecting so. Mr. Ravi Saji, I would like to say thank you to you, and we need to convince the people. People have always had the rights to demands from the state, but providing them 200,000 money from the government is not very less money. It is very enough money. We need to make understandable them. It is the blanket approach. Government couldn't give one person's lot. It is a blanket approach, so it is a very heavy cost for the nations. So we need to make understandable them, and we need to impart the knowledge, not to make the big houses. From the technical peoples, I was impressed before when our gentlemen presented the housing designs. That is very suitable to us in the village. The peoples, due to the egoisms, people are making the big houses. It is not a good idea to them.
And we didn't want to disturb their bowel function. That's why I'd like to open the floor to just receive some comments, some questions in a very precise way. And please don't repeat same questions again and again. Once it is answered by someone or read by someone, just entertain that one. Strengthening their capabilities to make the reconstruction activity happen at the field level. And they do have the MIS system and that is intact basically right now, and Ministry of Urban Development is also going to deploy numerous engineers, historical number in the history of Nepal. Definitely I was pretty encouraged with the statement of Ministry of Finance representative that we have to worry about the purse, they will manage that one, and most of the responses given by the Joint Secretary of NRA will also the response from my side, and still if there are any queries that I will be happy to answer those ones. And lastly, definitely as our sensei from Japan clearly stated that such kind of problems creates chaos. And many people are dissatisfied, even if you are doing a pretty good job. How this solidarity and the strengthening of the local government is most important. And the same situation we are also facing. However, the Ministry of Federal Affairs is going to make the system intact at the local level with the support of some engineers that are being deployed. Lastly, there are problems of hackers and scarcity definitely. Basically in the country like us, having poor coordination among ministries, few trained human resources, and pretty small pause.
My name is Sakuma. I just arrived in this country 1 month ago, and I think that my tenure will be 2 years or 3 years. So I hope that I can establish a good relationship with you from today. And first of all, on behalf of JICA, I'd like to thank all the participants for your successful contribution to this memorable workshop. The objective of today's workshop was to review the progress and the resilience plan in this country. The panel discussion was one of the most exciting one ever. The different perspectives introduced by each stakeholder reminded us the complexity of reconstruction. But through the discussion, we realized that solidarity is essential for successful reconstruction process. So I'd be very happy if today's workshop would be the good opportunity to strengthen this August gathering happen. It's unquestionable that now is the period of challenge for NRA and line ministries. But without overcoming these challenges, we cannot materialize reconstruction, resilient society, and solid economic growth thereby. So I sincerely hope the future acceleration of reconstruction work by the government of Nepal. And please remember that JICA is always people in Nepal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sakuma, and thank you everyone for your active participation. Today's workshop comes to an end. We would like to thank you all for your valuable time and presence. Hope this workshop is fruitful to you. Once again, thank you very much, and also would like to inform you that the lunch is ready. I would like to request you all to join for lunch. Have a great day. Namaskar.